Okay, the August meeting of the Board of Water Commissioners is called to order. Reading of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of last month's meeting.
Okay, you have a second?
Second.
I got one little minor change or addition, Michael, where it goes, we talk about, I don't know, it's the fourth one down, 1, 2, 3, 4, about Schnabel and the 60% design. Can you just kind of add for the Binney Water Dam project? Because it really doesn't say what that is about. So the minutes are reflective of what we're actually talking about. I mean, you probably have it, you know, from the agenda telling you it's under Binney Water, but when you read the minutes, it doesn't say. So with that addition or change, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Presentation of bills and accounts. Should I make that motion since I was one of the auditors?
Sure.
Okay. I move that the bills and accounts be paid as audited.
Second.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Binney Water Dam.
Last week, we had the survey crew up there on site doing tree survey and wetland delineation. So that's just part of the design. And that is, I believe it's complete. They weren't there this week, so it's all taken care of. So it's inside the fence, around the fence, outside the fence. Just part of the design work. So that was the next step, and that is done.
So we're just moving forward with the 60%
Yep.
design. Nothing else other than that. Okay. Bank transfer.
So I got a couple things here. So the first one is, I had the memo in there, so we had the money back from DOT that we finally got back for the roundabout. And that'll go towards the interest and principal until it's gone. So that money was put into the debt service account back in April. So I'm just looking to move 42,400 of that out to pay for the principal and interest that I was working on about for this year.
Make a motion that we're checking account.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Second part of that is, as everybody knows, we had our first payment for Cooper this year. Well, this year is a little different because we talked about this back in March. The first year was going to be a little more painful because we had to pay EFC for the short term. Then we got the long term hit as well this year. So we had the short term back in March or February, and at the end of this month, we'll be paying our first long term payment towards Cooper. And that payment is just over $1 million. And we no longer carry that kind of cash in our general account. We just, our money comes in, you know, every day we get money. We don't float that money in our general check anymore. We kind of separate it out. We get interest on the money. When I had started here, we kept, you know, $4 million in our general checking account, but we moved that into the capital and service. So I have a few different things. So we have the Binney Water project. So we have the DEC grants that haven't quite officially closed in terms of releasing the money. So that's $195,000 that they, you know, quote unquote owe us. So we could transfer that out and cover that in the general checking to help pay for the $1 million payment that we have on E27. And then we had another 155, so it's 350 total out of the capital to temporarily cover the general checking costs that we're going to have over the next month and a half. So we transfer $350,000 out of the capital to cover the costs of the Cooper bond payment. Because right now we have about 1.2 in our checking account, but we owe EFC $1.01 million on E27.
This is the only month that we have the short term and
So the short term, yeah, the only year we'll have to do that, yes.
for the rest
So
of it.
going forward, it'll just be around that $1 million mark for the year. There'll be an interest payment in March, the principal and interest payment in late August, early September. But this year was because of the way EFC does the closing, you have to pay interest and principal in the short term and pay for the long term, which wasn't exactly how we were trying to figure that out through the process of doing the budget. And this was how EFC had to have it done through all the conversations between the council, bond councils. This is how we had to pay it. We were hoping to have a lower short-term payment.
So we owe EFC $1.01 million by August 27th.
Correct.
And we only have 1.2 in checking
Yeah,
thereabouts.
so I mean, most of our expenses, most of our income, comes in. We have due dates every other week.
So you want to transfer 350,000.
Yep.
From, where is that?
The capital.
Capital, what's it called? Capital Improvement Fund? To checking. To cover that cost. And how much do we have in total in capital?
1.2.
1 point, oh, okay.
Just happened to be, it works out.
The same,
basically the same.
okay. I'm saying, I'm getting these confused here.
They're about the same. But 195,000 of that 350, we know we're gonna get from DEC in grant money. We haven't, those funds haven't been officially released. The contracts are all closed. Just from some QTs and some eyes to get that money so soon.
Okay, so we need a motion
I'll make the motion.
to transfer 350,000 from the capital improvement fund into general checking. Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, those in favor? Opposed? Any carried. Capital improvement plan?
Still working on it. I guess kind of related to that. I'll touch base. I've mentioned that the filters are gonna have to be done at some point. So we've been working on getting some budget numbers for the filters for the media. It's been almost 10 years since the media's been changed out. And
You do them all at once, or you do them?
our plan would be to do all 16 at once. I would assume it'd be cheaper to do them all 16 rather than have them come back out multiple times to do them. Just bring everything they need, do them. I mean, we won't do them all at once, but within,
Within a time frame
reasonable time.
that the
Right,
contract or
two at a
whoever.
time, I think it's a good plan to do, put down two and do those.
Well, they were put in though over different time frames, weren't
It was
they? Wasn't-
8 and 8, they were renovated front, back. But
And what was the gap of time
I think
between-
all the media was changed out 10 years ago. There was different things done, like the air scours, the other
Okay.
things were done. But all the media was done about 10 years ago.
And when were the filters rehabbed then? How long ago was that?
Same time.
Oh, okay,
It was all done by Robert's filter.
right, okay. Yes,
But we did get a budget number. Jim gave me a few names and he has some people he's gonna reach out to, but the budget number was quite large, so. I mean, right now the filters are running fine, but we don't wanna get to the point where we start having issues, so we're trying to get ahead of it. But we're looking at between 2 to 4 million,
what's the normal life for that stuff?
10 years.
Even with the scouring system?
And scouring is all just to, clear the water better in the backwashing site. It's not gonna extend the life of the media.
Okay.
What was the cost last time, 10 years ago?
I just got this budget number yesterday. It was larger than I was anticipated, but I didn't have a point of reference. So the last time it was all rolled into that phase 1B project, so I don't know. I'll have to dig into that a little bit more. It was all rolled into that project and that was before I got here. But
I'm sure that was a pretty big number even 10 years ago, because we replaced, they had to go in and replace the.
Yeah.
Well, now, back then, we originally put in those stainless steel filters or whatever, the piping,
Down the drainage system.
right,
Stainless steel.
and we put them in we just did it, all 16?
Yeah.
And that's where then we went to court and we sued them. And we got some money back.
$1 million.
What's the problem? Stain.
They didn't, the way it was designed, it ended up that when you backwash, it was uneven. So it ended up over time that the media was breaking up into sections. And then you had cavities, cone-shaped cavities of voids that the water was just going right through and bypassing the sand.
It's because of the
The
design of the,
design of the system.
What is the median made out
Sand,
of? Anthracite,
yeah, coal,
like coal?
yeah.
Interesting.
And then you have,
Okay, so yeah, because
and then you got
Yeah.
rock
charcoal really filters.
Coal's probably used more for
Yeah.
taste and odor to help, right?
Yeah.
Sauce,
Yeah,
sauce,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, really good.
Taste and odor.
But we're gonna look at some other budget numbers and at some point we'll have to.
But it tries to other suppliers.
So for sand, is median sand and coal? For 16 filters, how large are these filters?
Well,
It's
I mean,
1.2.
they're not small. I mean, I would assume,
$4 million.
I would assume a lot of the cost is because of the
Labor.
getting into them.
Labor intensive.
Packaging.
well, you're gonna have, someone's gonna have to open the opening, first you gotta close the filter down, and then there's a manhole
Okay.
on one end, and they're gonna
Oh,
have to go in and they're gonna have to extract all the current sand that's in there.
So this is like for labor and everything, yeah.
Yeah, and then once all the
it's like
old
confined-
media sand
Yeah,
is
confined space,
removed, yeah, confined space,
so it's kind of specialized, not,
Yeah,
because the access is just on the side manholes, or is there on, what on top?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're very small, I think they're 16-inch diameter.
Yeah,
You can't fit in, especially very thin, you can't fit in there. So they actually, the company actually hires certain people with certain physical features that can get in there.
And then they must pump, well, how do they get it out?
They suck it out.
Suck it out with a vacuum?
Jetpack. Jetpack it out, and they, same thing like concrete pumping, they'll pump it in.
Pump it in
Pump
and,
it in the new, and then the media filter, lay it out. It's 80–90% labor intensive, this type of work. In confined space, but it is a high number.
that is,
I was shocked that it.
Dennis, to
Matt
be
just
the
told me.
yeah.
retirement call, to be the guy.
could be.
This was the first project that I came on to. So I remember one of my first water board meetings, they were just finishing, or they were through, I think, the first half of the pumps or the filters, and they were doing the second half.
so another part of the issue is I don't see grant money being awarded for this because really it's not an improvement and it's not a construction
Right.
project. It's literally we're taking what we have
General
and swapping
maintenance.
it out with something new.
General
So-
maintenance, and they generally don't.
So it's not something that EFC would.
And there's no machine yet, it's gotta be a person that goes in.
Well, it's a combination.
I mean, a vacuum, person will be in there with a vacuum and,
Layers, so 6
you know.
inches of one, 3 inches of the other, it's gotta be layered and filtered. It's gotta be disinfected before we can use it. There's steps to it, but. So we're gonna keep looking at those numbers. but so,
yeah, I mean, they'll
this-
probably
this
go in and
comes-
start at one end and just say, okay, filter one, close it down.
So
I don't know how long it takes to do filter one or do filter 1 and 2 and get everything out of there and fill it back up and then move on to 3 and 4 and
So at some point
eventually
we'll
get all
have to borrow for that, move forward with it, and then we'll be covered for a decade. But
think that'll be in 2026.
hopefully. The number's not gonna go down,
But you're looking to put that on the plan for next year.
that would be my hope, is to get it done sometime before we start having issues.
They are performing very well. but
They are, but when you get to the point of not, we have to figure out how to pay for it. And it is the time to do it in terms of lifespan or what it looks like. So.
So we did all 16 though, within about the same period of time. I thought we did, was that with the stainless steel ones where we? But we did them in 2 different time periods.
Have to look at the stainless, maybe the stainless ones, but not with the.
The Robert strains were all done, all 16 were done.
They were probably, the under drainage system, we ended up getting rid of the stainless steel.
Right, and put in the plastic, and it was,
Plastic.
you couldn't believe how much that cost for
Yeah.
basically pieces of plastic, but. Okay, so for some reason I thought we did it in 2 different shifts, but it could have been within a year or 2. Well, you can go back and research maybe that too.
So, see, the CDM was the engineer of record then too, so they're still around.
Yeah, they should probably have
They have their
records
so
of it.
The dates and everything.
Okay, 2026 budget.
Yeah, nothing really other than just putting it on everybody's radar again, starting to work on it. I know we don't usually have our first budget talk.
Yeah,
until a little
normally
bit
till like
later in the year,
October,
but
right?
It's coming quick. I mean, we're already in September.
Yeah.
So just an FYI that it's on the radar and it's coming sooner rather than later. But I mean, next year is nothing crazy. We know what Cooper's going to be this year, so we have to play that.
We lose
We lose
two
two
of them. What's that?
of them.
200,000?
We paid off 2 of them. Yeah, give or take.
That's on that chart that when you do that, that's just the principal
That's
down there. So the interest expense up above at $830,500. That's all the interest lumped together from all of the,
so those 2 together this year were $172,000 total.
which two?
The 2 that are retired. So the 2 we want to pay in 2026 were $172,000 change.
Okay, because this says 170,000 and 26,000. On this.
Well, this, I guess there's spreadsheet what the count subsidies as well. Okay, so yeah, there were subsidies in 2025, so that's why. So we didn't have to pay full interest on those, so I guess, yeah, this year we basically just principal issue.
Oh, okay. But so,
The total debt service for those 2 bonds was 172,325 total.
I see it, okay.
so is there a breakdown though of the interest payments for all of those
Yeah,
loans?
that's why it's confusing for the last year, because the interest for the one was negative $17,000, because it was a subsidy that was applied. That's why it doesn't quite add up. That's why, yeah, it's not gonna work. Because this year isn't a good example. For the other years, it was 191 in 2024. That was the total service.
Okay, which is kind of closer to what you have budgeted for the principal anyway.
They were very low interest bonds, those 2.
Okay.
200,000 give or take.
Yeah. Okay.
That no longer has to be paid for those.
Okay. Correspondence?
Of course.
Okay.
I do have one other just
Yeah.
note for possibly for September with some of the policies and things. I just want to talk to Bill and look at a few things, but like demolitions and the mileage change for service leak, we reached out to DO, Department of Labor about something in terms of paying for service leaks. 12 more next month on those two items.
So service leaks, and what was the other one?
Demolitions. There seems to be a lot of those happening right now.
I mean demolition of
Properties.
houses,
That have water service.
and what you're proposing is changes to the bylaws or the regulations?
Yeah, something that maybe covers us if there's somebody that is insistent upon reusing a service. Because we've had a few in the past couple of years because they've tried to reuse it and ended up not reusing it or just not building.
So if they knock a building down,
It's supposed to be disconnected at the main. That's the policy.
okay,
But if it's going to be reused, past practice was we let them, if they have plans to do something. So it's been approved to allow it to be reused if we know it's copper. But it doesn't always move forward. So I'm looking for a way to protect the department that so work.
okay, it's more of an FYI for
Yeah,
the future. Okay. Now we're moving on to the superintendent's report. Or do you have anything else? Yep. Been pretty dry here the last couple of weeks, huh? So how are we doing up there?
Rain earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's still, so the point.
Well, yeah, they get a lot. It always seems like,
Hour ago.
well, down here it wasn't that much, though. I
It
mean,
poured last week down there, it didn't rain at all.
well, where were you on the
It's
roof?
been weird
Here?
like that.
Well, on 213, it was downpouring up in, yeah, it was raining.
213,
And.
Where? Like Rip?
Worcester Park or Sophus.
Sophus?
Yeah, oh, it was like,
No, we,
Just sprinkled
well,
here.
I didn't think that we got,
We have a
it went
little bit,
around
but not
Kingston.
much.
yeah, I mean, I was watching the radar and
oh, it
it
did
was
rain
almost
that
like a
much?
horseshoe.
Oh,
Really anything.
We
We
got
don't
a
got anything here.
We got a half-hour rain at the intake, I think last week, and it didn't rain, it didn't show up on the radar, but it was there.
Okay.
I watched it, and I saw it with my own eyes, but it wasn't on the radar, and it rained.
Well, even today, when you looked out to the west, it was quite a bit. And trying to figure out where everything is, well, it's kind of,
But we're still only, I think we're 1.2 down, and it's August, so we have plenty of water.
okay, good.
no drought talk.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
I mean, for all the,
Don't say the D word, Dad, don't even say that.
well, for all the,
PTSD.
talk about how much rain we've had, you know, at this point in time, we're an inch down from average. We're
Mother
below.
Nature is a dynamic equilibrium.
Well, yeah, 9 inches in May, so. Well, it is a hurricane, right?
Don't say that.
Yeah, motion to accept superintendent's report.
I'll make a motion.
And I'll second it.
Any those in favor?
Aye.
Anything for executive session?
I do, personally.
Okay, personnel issue, I need a motion to go in executive session to discuss the personnel issue.
To go into executive session.
Second.
Any those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Actually, I've had a
I'm out of the executive session.
Make a motion to go.
second.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
And we're back into regular session. And we discuss the personnel issue.
Make a motion, be resolved that the Board of Law Commissioners approve terms of employment-related amendment agreement dated 12 August 2025 between the Kingston Water Board Local 750-6, Council 66, SCME 325, and presented to the board as.
And it's a motion, I have a second.
Seconded.
Any further discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Anything else coming before the board?
That's it.
Okay, a motion to adjourn
Make a motion to adjourn.
and second.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.